On the previous video, we discussed how to maintain or how to create a connection between the SQL database and then the Java. So today, we will be connecting or incorporating the data into the JTable. So how are we going to do that? And I'll be showing it to you. So, okay. So this is the function that we've used earlier to select all the data. And let me just comment this one. Okay, but before you comment this one, okay? So let me just copy it and then comment this one. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is to store the information into this class or into this function. So let's just rename this list with the person data type. Okay, so here's the person. We declare this one. So now we need to declare or we need to store the information. So for us to be able to do that, the first thing that we need to do is to edit this code. So since from here we are extracting the information, and now we need to create a new object of the class. So let's say person is equal to new person. So the object now holds the different information that we want to incorporate. Okay. So from this one, we could simply, if you could remember the class person, so this is the constructor. It contains a person ID, a sex, and a name. So let's just redo it here. So let's just store. So first is rs get string. Okay, so get integer, get int. Okay, so the name is person ID. Actually, I forgot. So let me just browse it here. So actually, um, it's person ID. So when you forget the name, you can simply browse it again. Okay, so and then next one is we want to get the copy this one. Okay. Okay. So basically, what's happening here is we are storing the different information from this person and then this exact and this string name. So we're just putting the values there so that it will be the one to hold the different values. And it's much easier since we don't need to create a variable again and again just to hold this information. And the next thing that we need to do is to append it on the list. So appending the person class. So let's say person list that add person. Okay, so basically these are object of the class that is being stored within this class. And actually that's the first thing that we need to do. And the next one is let's return a value. So person list. Okay. Oops, semicolon. Okay, so we first is let's just check to get the values, and to do that we could use the for each loop of the uh, of Java. And let's say this already. Let's just comment this one. Actually, what's the name? Select. It's still select all. So we could simply use a for loop for person per. So basically what this does is it iterates each value of the array. So it becomes much easier since we don't need to loop it again and again. It will automatically halt when it reaches the last number of the array. So out println. Okay, forget the t again. And then per. So per and then get first name. Okay, so plus, let's say per get last name. Okay. Actually, there is no first name. Get name. Oops, what's happening? Name. And then, okay. And the other one is we need to get the person ID. Okay, so we should see similar results on this database. So let's just run this one. Okay, so you can see here that we already have the number 2, male, Elmer, female, and Maria. So we successfully incorporated it on a class object, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to incorporate it on the Java table. So to do that, let's just create a new Java frame form. Okay, let's just name it JFrame table. Okay, so let's just add a JTable for this one. So let's look for it. Seems that it's hiding. Okay. Maybe you already seen it already. Okay, this one. Okay. So this seems to be large, so let's just reduce the size. Or let's just increase the size. Okay. So let's just edit this table by right click and then table contents. Okay, so for our columns, let's just remove another column since we don't need to use this one. Okay, so it's resizable, it's not editable. And so rows, maybe let's remove the rows first. So it's an empty rows. And we could name this as person ID. Then this is the name. And this is the sex, okay? So, okay. So we can now close this one and it's already edited. So the next thing that we're going to do is just add a button so that whenever I click the button, it will automatically increment. Let's rename this one on the properties tabs. Okay, JButton. Let's say submit. Okay, so the code here is JButton1 and this one is JTable1. Okay, so let's click this one. Okay, so I'll be showing you an easier way how to incorporate the data to the JTable. So basically there are complex ways, but let's do the easier way. Okay, so first is we need to import the javax swing table default table model. So we could incorporate or we could increment data on the table row per row basis. And let's also import the Java utilities there. Okay. So we already added that one. So where's the button action? Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is to call our function, which is the Java SQLite. So Java SQLite project. Oops, right? SQ is equal to new SQLite project. Okay, so we already created an object. Okay, so it doesn't work. Java SQLite. Why I keep on having a mistake? Okay, so we already have it here. So let's say default table model. So TBL model. So this basically instantiates the table into an easier form. Okay, so our JTable that, oops, get model. Okay, it's working. And the next is an object. So object is an array that doesn't have any, let's say, it doesn't have any data type. So whatever you add on this value, it will automatically adjust on the data type of your project or your value. Okay, so next is list, then person. So this is from the person class. So person list is equal to sq.select all. So this is the function that we've used earlier. And again, we are going to use a for loop for a much easier way. for person within the person. Okay, so person dot list. Okay, so to output this one, so tbl dot model dot add row. Okay, so new object. So we're creating the instance or adding a new object, or we are incrementing row per row basis. So person, then person ID, then person name, and then lastly person that, oops, sex. Okay, oopsie. Okay, there seems to be an error. Expected semicolon. Okay, semicolon, braces rather. Okay, so let's just run this one. But first, let's incorporate it on our main project. Java SQLite. So this is the main file. Let's comment this one. Okay, so Java as, oops, JFrame table that Java. Oops. Hmm, table is equal to new table table that should. Okay, let's just run this one. Oops, what's happening? Expected semicolon. Forgot that one. So let me just run this one. Okay, so when we click submit, it should output okay. So that's basically how you output different details within a table. You could also do this again and again and again. It will continually increment. But as long as you add or you continue to add details on your table, you could also remove from it. So that's it. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you read your modules as well. So thank you, and see you on our next video.